Title: Broken Trust. Chapter 1: The Silence Between Us. I still remember the way she used to look at me. With eyes full of warmth. Full of promise. Back then, I thought love was enough. I thought that if you worked hard, kept your promises, and stayed loyal, everything else would fall into place. But I was wrong. Dead wrong. It was a chilly Wednesday morning in late October when I first felt it, the shift. Amy was already up when I rolled over in bed, her side cold. She used to sleep in until the last possible minute, clinging to the blankets like they were life itself. But now she was always up early. Showered. Dressed. Lipstick on. Her phone buzzed on the nightstand. A message flashed. I caught the name, Mr. Caldwell. Her boss. Don't forget to bring the folders today. And that red dress, damn, it looked amazing on you. My stomach turned. Amy, I called out. You left your phone. She walked in from the bathroom, wrapped in a towel. Her expression changed when she saw the screen. Just for a second. But it was enough. Oh, that's just work stuff, she said too fast. I nodded, not saying what I wanted to. I could have asked why her boss was texting her before 7 a.m. about how she looked in a dress. But I didn't. Not yet. I told myself it was nothing. I told myself not to jump to conclusions. But the silence between us was louder than ever. Chapter 2: Her New World. Amy had changed. That much was obvious now, even if I didn't want to admit it. We used to talk about everything: plans, groceries, dumb memes on the internet. But lately, our conversations were robotic. How was work? Fine. What's for dinner? I don't know. Order something. I chalked it up to stress. Her new job at Caldwell Media had come with a big promotion: Executive Marketing Strategist. It was a title that sounded like a big deal. And maybe it was. She had a corner office, traveled to New York once a month, and got invited to executive-only retreats. She was proud of it. I was proud of her, too. At first. Then the lies started. One night she came home late. Too late. Her eyes were glassy, and she smelled like wine. Client dinner ran late, she mumbled, slipping off her heels. At midnight? Yeah, the client was a big account. Peter wanted us to really connect with them. Peter Caldwell. The name left a bitter taste in my mouth. He was a clean-cut, arrogant-looking man in his 40s. The type who always had a hand on someone's back or a smirk that said he knew he could get away with anything. He touched you too? I wanted to ask, but I didn't. I told myself not to sound paranoid. Not yet. She went to bed without even looking at me. I sat in the living room, the TV flashing colors across an empty wall, wondering where the hell I went wrong. Chapter 3: The Clues Pile Up. The signs came like bricks, one after the other, stacking up until I couldn't breathe. Her phone, which used to lie on the kitchen counter, now never left her side. She started going to the gym, buying new dresses, getting her hair done. But she wasn't dressing up for me. One night, I opened our laptop to check some receipts for our tax forms. The browser history was still up. And there it was. Hotels near Caldwell Media downtown. Best discreet places to meet in Chicago. How to hide an affair from your spouse. My chest clenched. My hands shook. I didn't confront her that night. I couldn't. Instead, I sat on the edge of our bed and stared at her while she slept, her back turned to me like it had been for weeks. I wanted to believe this wasn't real. But it was. The woman I married, the one I trusted with every part of me, was slipping away. And I had no idea how to stop it. Chapter 4: The Confrontation That Never Happened. I rehearsed it 100 times in my head. Amy, I saw your messages. I know about Peter. Just tell me the truth. But every time she walked through the door, I froze. She looked different now. Not just the makeup or the dresses. She moved differently. Carried herself like someone who had a secret she didn't plan to share. One Friday night she came home earlier than usual. She was humming a tune, a little wine-drunk maybe. I asked if she wanted to order Thai food, and she just shrugged. I already ate. Peter took the team out for sushi. I stared at her. You spend a lot of time with Peter. He's my boss. I know. My voice was tight. She looked at me, really looked, and for a second I thought she might say it. I thought she might break down and tell me everything. But she didn't. She just said, "You're acting weird," and walked away to take a shower. The confrontation died in my throat. Chapter 5. A Friend Tells the Truth. I don't know why I finally told someone. Maybe because I needed to hear I wasn't crazy. It was Mike, my oldest friend. We met at college and stayed close. He was the kind of guy who always saw through the BS. "She's cheating on you, man," he said bluntly after I vented to him at a bar. "You don't know that. You just told me she lied about a trip, hides her phone, and her boss texts her at 6 a.m. You want me to say it's all fine? That she's just working hard? Come on." I didn't want to hear it. But I needed to. "You ever think about following her?" he asked. I shook my head. He leaned in, more serious than I'd ever seen him. "Hire someone. A pie. You deserve to know the truth." I hated the idea. Spying on her? That wasn't love. But what we had now wasn't love either. Chapter 6. Proof in Pictures. It took me a week to gather the courage to call the private investigator. His name was Barry Thomas. Ex-cop. Discreet. Expensive. He called me 3 days later. "I got something." My heart dropped. "She's meeting him after work. Same hotel. Twice this week. Room 412. He emailed me the photos. I stared at them for hours. Amy and Peter walking into a Hilton downtown. Her hand on his chest. Him whispering something in her ear. The kind of closeness that no one could mistake for just work. I felt like I'd been stabbed in the chest. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just sat there, staring at the woman I loved in another man's arms. And I wondered how long she'd been gone from me, even before the affair started. Chapter 7. The night I finally asked? The night I confronted her, it was raining. Not a gentle drizzle, no, it was the kind of storm that shook windows and soaked the soul. I waited until she came home, her umbrella dripping, her heels clicking on the hardwood floor. "Hey," she said casually, dropping her purse. "Long day." I didn't respond. She looked at me, noticed the expression on my face. I was sitting on the couch, laptop open, a folder on the coffee table. "What's going on?" I nodded toward the folder. "Open it." She hesitated, then slowly flipped it open. The photos were inside. The ones from the Hilton. I watched her eyes. They went wide, then flat, then guarded. "You followed me?" she whispered. "You cheated on me," I said. "I deserve to know the truth." She said nothing. Just closed the folder, sat down on the opposite end of the couch like we were strangers waiting for a train. "How long?" I asked. Silence. "Amy." "How long?" She finally spoke, voice barely audible. 4 months. The words hit harder than I expected. 4 months. 4 months of lies, excuses, business trips, fake meetings, fake smiles. "Why?" I asked, choking on the word. Her eyes filled with tears, but I couldn't tell if it was guilt or regret. "I don't know," she said. "Peter makes me feel seen. Like I matter. Like I'm someone important. And I don't? You stopped looking at me like that a long time ago." Chapter 8. Broken Promises. We didn't talk much that night. I slept on the couch. Or rather, I stared at the ceiling, wondering how love could disappear so fast. The next morning, she was gone before I woke up. Left a note. "I'm sorry. I need space. I'm staying at a hotel for a few days. I'll be in touch." A hotel. Maybe the same one she stayed in with him. I wanted to burn that note. Rip it to pieces. But I didn't. I just kept reading it, over and over again. We had built a life. A home. We had plans. Kids, a summer trip to Colorado, even a dog we were thinking about adopting. And she threw it all away for her boss. Worse than the betrayal was the thought that maybe I wasn't enough anymore. Chapter 9: The Fallout. In the days that followed, the silence in the house was unbearable. I didn't eat much. Didn't sleep. Just went through the motions. Friends reached out, Mike especially. "You okay, man?" "No." "You want to come stay with me for a while?" "No." Because this was my house. Our house. And even though it was filled with ghosts now, it was still mine. A week later, Amy called. "I want to talk," she said. We met at a neutral place, a quiet coffee shop far from downtown. She looked tired. Worn out. Older somehow. "I ended it with Peter," she said. I didn't say anything. "I made a mistake. The worst mistake of my life." "Did you love him?" I asked. Her eyes fell to the table. "I think I loved how he made me feel. Not him. So now what?" She reached across the table, but I pulled my hand back. "I want to fix this," she said. And for the first time, I looked her dead in the eye and said, "I don't know if I do." Chapter 10: Counseling and Cold Truths. Amy begged for another chance. Not with tears or flowers, but with effort. She suggested couples counseling. I said yes. Not because I forgave her, but because I needed to hear a professional say what I already feared, that our marriage was broken in ways either of us could fix alone. Our first session was awkward. Dr. Richards, calm and composed, asked questions that cut to the bone. "When did you first feel disconnected?" Amy said. "After he stopped noticing me." I said. "After she started lying to me." There were no smiles. No laughter. Just two people sitting on opposite ends of a couch, wondering if anything was worth saving. We went twice a week. Sometimes she cried. Sometimes I did. Sometimes I said nothing at all. One night after a particularly raw session, she touched my arm outside the office. "I never stopped loving you," she said. I wanted to believe that. But I didn't say it back. Chapter 11: A Glimpse of Closure. 2 months passed. We tried. We really did. Amy deleted Peter's number. She moved back in. Cooked dinner. Asked about my day. But something was different, and not just in her. In me. I didn't trust her. I didn't look at her the same way. And it wasn't just about what she did, it was about who she became to do it. The secrets, the double life, the ease with which she smiled at me and lied to my face. One night, I asked her the question that had haunted me. "If I hadn't found those photos, would you have told me?" She didn't answer at first. Then she said quietly, "I don't know." That was it. That was the moment I knew we weren't going to make it. Chapter 12: Letting Go. We sat at the kitchen table, the same place we had dinner, celebrated birthdays, talked about dreams. "I want a divorce," I said. Amy didn't cry. She just stared at the wall, like she'd known this was coming. "I understand," she whispered. We didn't fight. We didn't scream. We just sat in silence, surrounded by the echoes of a life that used to be full. In the weeks that followed, we split our things. Furniture. Kitchenware. Bank accounts. She moved into a small apartment near her office. I stayed in the house, our house, but it didn't feel like home anymore. One night, I stood in our bedroom, staring at the space where her dresses used to hang. And I finally cried. Not just for the loss of her, but for the loss of us. Chapter 13: A Life Without Her. The divorce papers came in a plain white envelope. No drama. No anger. Just signatures and silence. I didn't tell anyone for a few days. I just sat with it. The pain wasn't sharp anymore. It was dull, constant, like a bruise that never quite faded. But it was manageable. Bearable. And slowly, I started rebuilding. I focused on work. Took on extra hours. Went to the gym. Started running again. Mike convinced me to sign up for a weekend hiking trip. It was the first time in months I felt like I could breathe. The trees didn't ask questions. The sky didn't lie. I stopped checking her social media. I stopped wondering who she was with. And eventually, I stopped caring what Peter Caldwell was doing. I was learning to live without her. And that was progress. Chapter 14: The Unexpected Call. 6 months after the divorce was finalized, she called. Not to ask for another chance. Just to talk. Hey, she said softly. I heard about your dad. I'm sorry. He'd passed away the week before. Heart attack. Sudden. Crushing. I didn't expect her to know, but of course she did. We'd shared a decade. Her knowing things about my life wasn't something that could be undone by a court order. Thanks, I said. There was silence on the line. Then she asked, Can I come to the funeral? I hesitated, then said yes. She came alone. Wore black. Stood near the back. Didn't speak much. But she was there, and somehow, that mattered. Afterwards, we walked outside. Just the two of us. The sky was gray. You look stronger, she said. I am, I replied. She nodded. I just wanted to say, I'm sorry. For everything. I know, I said. And I meant it. She turned to leave, but then looked back. I hope you find someone who sees how good you really are. I smiled, a small one. Me too. Chapter 15: The Road Ahead. It's funny how pain fades. Not quickly. Not quietly. But steadily. A year after Amy and I split, I finally let go of the bitterness. It didn't happen with fireworks or some big revelation. It happened on a Saturday morning when I poured a cup of coffee, looked out the window, and realized I didn't miss her anymore. I didn't miss the lies. The distance. The ache. What I missed was the idea of who we were. And that's not the same as love. Love is showing up. Love is truth. And now, I was finally ready for it again, on new terms, with someone new, someday. Someone who wouldn't disappear into another man's arms when things got tough. Someone who would choose me. Not just once. But every single day. The end.